Have you ever had that weird feeling that something's off, but you have no idea where to start? Like everything seems normal, but there's just something out of place. Well, my friend, here's the hard truth. What if I told you she's already moving on and you're just sitting there clueless as ever? This isn't drama, it's just reality. Sometimes the signs are screaming in your face, but you're too busy with, I don't know, anything but what really matters. You're blind, oblivious, or thinking that feelings alone can fix everything. Today I'm going to lay out the 5 most obvious signs that she's already moving on, so you can wake up before your story turns into a sad one. And pay attention. The last sign will make you rethink your entire love life. So sit tight, stay until the end, and stop switching tabs, because you need to hear this. Now, let's get one thing straight. This video didn't just appear out of nowhere, okay? It's only here because someone before you was cool enough to like and subscribe. So now it's your turn to give back, buddy. Hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a thank you to the algorithm in the comments. It's not for me, it's for you and everyone else who needs this wake-up call. Without further ado, let's dive straight into it. Number 1, short and cold responses. The beginning of a relationship. That modern fairy tale where long, heartfelt messages turn even a simple lunch chat into poetry. But now, all you get is an okay, fine, or a generic emoji tossed like breadcrumbs to pigeons. It's no longer communication, it's mere survival. And you know what that means? The warmth has turned into an iceberg, and you're the Titanic. Communication is the foundation of any relationship. Without it, you're just 2 people sharing memes on Instagram. When the other person starts responding with the enthusiasm of a rock, it's not routine or lack of time. It's indifference. It's their energy draining elsewhere. And let's be real, that elsewhere could be another person, another priority, or simply that they don't care about you anymore. Now, imagine this scene. You send a message full of love and interest. Hey babe, how was your day? I was thinking about you. And what do you get back? A good. That's it. No questions back, no heart emoji, no and you. Nothing. You're stuck in a monologue. And the worst part, it's a monologue where the audience has already left. This is serious, and the repetition of it should set off an alarm in your head. It's not paranoia, it's perception. Short and cold responses are the emotional equivalent of someone saying, I'm here, but only physically. It's the first hint that the interest, the love, and that initial spark are fading faster than you can type, good morning. And of course, some might think it's nonsense. Oh, she's just busy, or it's just her way. But let's be honest. In the beginning, she had the time, energy, and creativity to write 3 paragraphs about how the rain reminded her of your beautiful smile. Now she can barely type 3 letters. It's obvious something's wrong. If you're ignoring this sign because you think it's not that serious, great. Keep going. Just don't be surprised when those short responses are followed by complete silence. After all, a dry find today could be the deafening silence of tomorrow. And that, my friend, is just the beginning. Number 2, too much time on her phone, but never with you. Come on, Sherlock. She's glued to her phone all the time, but mysteriously, it seems like you're never the recipient of her attention. The excuse is always the same. It's work, or I'm talking to a friend. Sure, because everyone laughs that way while typing up reports or responding to some random meme. But let's be real. If her phone has become an extension of her hand and you're just an accessory in the room, we've got a problem. Now pay attention to her behavior. Before, she would leave her phone lying on the couch, screen facing up, as if it were just a useless piece of plastic. Now, her phone has become a confidential item, almost nuclear. She takes it to the bathroom, the kitchen, the bed. And magically, the notifications that used to pop up freely are now silenced, and the screen never lights up in your presence. Makes sense, right? It's not about protecting work. It's about shielding you from discovering who's on the other side of the screen. Think of this classic scenario. You're on the couch, she's laughing at something on her phone. Then you casually ask, "What was that?" And she replies with a, "Nothing, just some nonsense." She turns the screen away, changes the subject, and you're left feeling like you just got kicked out of the game without even knowing you were playing. Want to know what that means? Transparency is dead, buried, and you weren't even invited to the funeral. And you know what's even more revealing? The time she spends on her phone is directly proportional to the time she's not spending with you. The more she's connected to the screen, the more disconnected she is from the two of you. This isn't just a phase, it's a detour. And if you think it's an exaggeration, tell me one thing. Since when does work or talking to friends require sneaky giggles and a locked screen all the time? In summary, buddy, the phone isn't just a device, it's a reflection of what she prioritizes. And apparently, you're not on the priority list. Is it going to get worse? Oh, absolutely. Wait until the next sign because it leaves even less room for doubt. Number 3, constant complaints about you. Remember when she used to praise even the most insignificant things? Wow, babe, how neatly you fold the towel. Now, everything you do seems to be a reason for a complaint fest. The way you walk, eat, breathe. Just being in her presence feels like a mistake. And no, this isn't random. It usually happens when she's already comparing you to someone. That someone who, in her mind, does everything better. The complaints start subtly like, "Why don't you make the bed properly?" Or, "You always forget to turn off the light." Little comments that, in a healthy relationship, would just be conversation. But then it turns into a tsunami. You never do anything right. Never. A magic word that turns you from a human into an emotional punching bag. Now comes the important part. The problem isn't you. It might be hard to believe, but these criticisms are nothing more than a reflection of her emotional distancing. Instead of admitting that she's already disconnected, she chooses to blame you because it's more convenient. This way, she can justify her own actions and perhaps the fact that she's investing time and messages, giggles, or who knows what in someone else. And then you enter the walking on eggshells phase. Every word you say is a minefield because anything can turn into another reason for her to complain about you. You don't understand me. You're insensitive. You this, you that. And guess what? That's not her trying to fix the relationship. She's trying to escape it. If you've reached this point and think you can still save things by just being more attentive or changing, I'm sorry to inform you, you're falling into the trap. These complaints aren't requests for change. They're a warning that she's already put her foot out the emotional door. And if you still haven't realized you're being thrown into the deep end, congratulations. It's time to open your eyes. Because guess what? While you're trying to please her, the next sign will show you that she's already putting in effort, but to impress someone else. Good luck with that. If you're tired of being the idiot she uses as a doormat, accepting any crumbs and still getting kicked to the curb when she feels like it, then wake up. It's time to stop swallowing disrespect and turn this dirty game around. Head to the description and grab the digital book I left for you. After reading it, you'll learn to be a real challenge, to never bow your head again, and to put any woman in her place without mercy or pity. No more being trampled and discarded like useless trash. If you want respect, then start acting like a man who demands respect. Number 4, sudden change in appearance. And then, out of nowhere, she turns into a magazine cover model. New clothes, makeup worthy of a YouTube tutorial, that perfume that seemed reserved only for special occasions. There's just one curious detail. None of it is for you. That's right. Who's benefiting from this new Glamorous Me? Spoiler. It's not you, the sucker here. Yes, everyone has the right to take care of themselves and want to look good. But let's be honest. If she used to think ripped jeans and a messy bun were enough to go out with you, and now she's stepping out looking ready for the red carpet, something's up. And no, it's not just about self-esteem. Think about this. She says she's going to the grocery store and gets dolled up like she's heading to a high society party. Or that classic move. She's meeting friends and shows up with a look she'd never even consider wearing when going out with you. What does that tell you? That she's definitely trying to impress someone. And surprise, it's not the poor guy sitting on the couch waiting. And as if that wasn't enough, this sudden makeover usually comes with an increase in mystery. She starts being vaguer about where she's going, who she's going with, and what she's going to do. And when you try to ask, she gives evasive answers or changes the subject faster than you can say, "What's going on?" The truth is, such an abrupt change in style usually reflects an even bigger change in the relationship. It's not just about clothes, makeup, or perfume. It's about her distancing herself from you while trying to get closer, emotionally or who knows, physically, to someone else. If you still think it's paranoia, fine. Stay there with your arms crossed while she transforms into someone you're not. But stay alert, because the next sign will slam in your face what you should have noticed ages ago. Number 5, lack of intimacy and interest. Intimacy is the engine that keeps any relationship running. Not just the physical side, although that's a pretty clear thermometer, but also the emotional connection, that desire to be together, to talk, to show you care. When this disappears, it's not lack of time or routine. It's a red alert you need to hear. It starts with the classic excuses. I'm tired. I'm not in the mood. It's just a phase. Sure, because anyone who really wants something makes excuses, right? But in reality, it's not just tiredness. It's that you no longer occupy the space she doesn't want to admit has been filled by someone else or another interest. And it doesn't stop there. Before, you had moments just for the two of you, even if it was just watching that silly movie on the couch. Now, she's more interested in her phone, a book, or anything else that doesn't include your presence. Before, she wanted to know how your day was, asked about your plans, what made you happy or worried. Now, it feels like any conversation with you is just background noise she barely hears. This distance doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's a disconnection that reflects the fact that her interest, both emotional and physical, is focused elsewhere. And if you think it might just be a phase, remember, phases pass, but constant disinterest is like a tumor in the relationship. It grows, corrodes, and by the time you realize it, it's consumed everything. So, do you want to keep ignoring it while she drops all the possible hints that your connection is falling apart? Or are you going to face the facts? Because honestly, if intimacy and interest have vanished, the relationship is already hanging by a thread, and you can't hold it alone. And the next sign? Oh, that one will completely eliminate any doubt you still have. Let's recap, because it's important to lay out the facts for you to see if you're waking up. Short and cold responses? Check. Her phone has turned into a locked vault? Check. Endless complaints that make you the villain? Check. Changes in appearance that are clearly not for you? Check. And finally, the lack of intimacy and interest that makes it clear your connection is hanging by a thread. If 2 or more of these signs appear in your relationship, the truth is harsh. She's already moving on, or at least planning how to do it without raising suspicions. What do you do now? First, stop living in denial. Second, have a serious conversation. Ask what's going on, but go in with a guarded heart, because the answer might not be what you want to hear. Oh, and value yourself. Relationships are meant to be a two-way street, not a one-way path where you give everything to receive crumbs. And of course, if you identified with all of this, comment below. Have you gone through something like this? Were you smart or stayed tangled until it became a tragic story? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell, because here we don't sugarcoat anything. The truth is what you need to hear, even if it hurts. And remember, whoever chooses to ignore the signs is basically asking to be deceived. Until the next video, and good luck, you're going to need it.